So far, we have written all our code in one file, app.py. But that's not how we build real programs, because a real program can contain tens of thousands of lines of code. We don't want to write all that code in one file. That is like going to a supermarket without any sections. All products are in one place. Finding a product in a supermarket like that is really hard, right? That's why in supermarkets we have various aisles or sections or departments. We have the same concept in programming. So as our program grows, we should split our code across multiple files. We refer to each file a module. So a module is a file that contains some Python code. Now here's a question. How do we decide what functions or what classes we should put in what modules? Once again, let's go back to our supermarket example. In a supermarket, each section contains highly related products. So when you go to the fruit section, you only see fruits. You don't see cleaning products there, right? By the same token, a module should contain highly related objects. These objects can be functions, classes, variables, and so on. So here, as an example, I have defined two functions. These functions have no implementation, but they are both highly related to the concept of sales. We have calculate tax and calculate shipping. So let's go ahead and put these functions in a separate module called sales. Here in the project folder, I'm going to add a new file and call it sales.py. This is our sales module. Note that in terms of naming convention, just like variables and functions, we use all lowercase letters, and if you have multiple words, we separate them using an underscore. Now, back to app.py. Let's get all this code and move it to sales module. Okay, now back to the app module. We need to import one or two functions from our sales module. There are a couple of different ways to achieve this. You have seen one way before. So we start with from, then we add the name of our module, which is sales. Note that it's not sales.py, it's only the name of the file. Okay, so from sales, import. Now, if you press Control and space here, you can see all the objects defined in this module. Currently, we have these two functions, as well as a bunch of variables that Python automatically creates. We'll look at these later. So let's say we want to import the calculate shipping function. There you go. Now we can call this function just like a function that we have defined in our app module. So calculate shipping, as simple as that. Now, if you want to import multiple objects from a module, you can separate them using a comma. So here we can also import calculate tax and then call it here. Now, there are some tutorials out there that teach you a shortcut to import multiple objects using an asterisk. While this makes your code shorter, it's actually a bad practice, because in that module, you could have several different functions or variables, and if you blindly import them into the current module, some of those objects may overwrite the objects with the same name in the current module. So don't import all objects like this. Only import the stuff that you need. So let's put calculate shipping and calculate tax here. There is also another way to import a module. Instead of starting with from, we start with import, and then we add the name of the module. Now, in this module, we have an object called sales, and we can use the dot operator to access its members. So our calculate shipping function is now a method in this object, and we call it like this. So basically, you can either import the entire module as an object, or you can import specific objects from that module. What approach you choose is purely your personal preference. There is no right or wrong here. There is not even a performance difference, because whenever we want to import one object from a module, that entire module needs to be loaded. Now we can pick one object or every object in that module.